After a brief introduction, this video has 3 sections. 1. A Checkatrade website for Pevensey Plumbers Limited. 2. Pevensey Plumbers Limited website, the recently revised version. 3. A plumbing job and the invoice for it. When water circulation in my home central heating was failing, I telephoned Pevensey Plumbers, a company that I had confidence in after they had dealt well with a couple of jobs in the kitchen several years previously. I still had a copy of Pevensey Plumbers' business card with 2 telephone numbers and a web address. So I visited the website on the card. The site had the same telephone numbers as before and a virtually identical logo. By telephone, I arranged an appointment for the morning of the 9th of November 2021, and the plumber and his assistant arrived as arranged. During the visit, I booked another appointment for servicing the boiler the following Tuesday. During the first appointment, a valve was changed and warm water circulated round the radiators again. The second appointment to service the boiler and remedy my overpayment for the first job was not kept. No plumbers arrived without any explanation. Section 1. Checkatrade advertises itself as the most searched for website for finding tradespeople in the UK. It also publishes a website named Checkatrade.com Trades Pevensey Plumbers Limited Reviews. Mr. Pugh, Director of Pevensey Plumbers Limited, is a proud member of Checkatrade.com, which attracts customers for their members and provides what they call verified reviews. How Checkatrade's reviews are collected and verified, I do not know. Neither the proud Checkatrade plumber nor Checkatrade's own moneymen have invited me to review the work for which I paid. Checkatrade moneymakers are in the advertising business, so let's examine their current online advertisement for Pevensey Plumbers Limited. This comprises 10 on-screen pages displaying 97 verified reviews with a choice of sort order. I've chosen new to old for you and can tell you that the first 2 reviews are dated November 2021. I challenge you to guess the date of the oldest review on page 10. If these 97 reviews are all the reviews written by all the customers served over a number of days, Checkatrade may be an honest company. If not, how honest do you think Checkatrade's selection may be? On their page 10, there are 3 reviews dated July 2016, the year the company became a limited company, with Mr. Pugh as its only director, so we can say that the 97 reviews were written during a time span starting before August 2016 and ending after October 2021. That equals 5 plus 4 times 12 plus 10, which equals more than 63 months. 97 divided by 63 equals 1.54 reviews per month. You might think that these reviews represent a tiny minority of customers and could therefore provide opportunities for astonishing levels of dishonesty. The 97 scores on those 10 Checkatrade pages will now appear on screen, and the 3 comments by the customers verified as awarding lower scores than all the others will be shown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's 84 10s, 10 9s and 3 zeros. Verified review dated December 2020 by a Pevensey resident. No work carried out. Score 0. Did not turn up for the appointment at all. Called and left a message asking them to call me back, but they never did. Verified review, dated November 2016, by an Eastbourne resident. No work carried out. Score 0. Contacted him on the 25th of October. He gave me an appointment on Monday the 1st of November. On Thursday the 27th of October, received a mobile message that he can't make it tonight and shall try to make it next Tuesday. Today, Saturday the 1st of November, he didn't show for the appointment. If he starts with this in appointments, he shall be worst during work. I do not recommend dealing or using his services. I've edited out that reviewer's name, address and mobile number. Verified review dated September 2018 by a Hailsham resident. New bathroom fitted. Score 0. Incompetent, dishonest, untrustworthy. The main guy turned up and then left his assistant, who was just out of school, to do the job. Every time I left, they made themselves scarce. After 3 weeks with no progress, I got another plumber in. He confirmed the work was of an unbelievably poor quality. The bath I had bought had to be replaced, as they sawed off a wrong pipe. They demanded an upfront payment. When I complained, the owner was abusive and said he would repay a bit of this amount. Still waiting 1 year later. Use this firm at your peril and never give them an upfront payment. Section 2. Pevensey Plumbers Limited's website. Below my title is a recently changed start to the first page of the site, with a new menu on the right, and on the left the name of the company, the same as it was before it became a limited company. When I accessed the website to check the plumber's phone number before making an appointment, I saw a price per hour display almost at once. Plumbing work during normal hours cost £60 per hour, and much further down the page in a much smaller font, it said that VAT was to be added to the cost. The prices display had been larger and more colourful than this updated version, and the VAT notice was in much smaller text and much further down the page. What the sentence before that means, I do not know. No VAT rate is given. I paid 20% on the work and 20% on the inflated price of the product supplied. During the last of several phone calls from Mr. Pugh, during which he mentioned that he was recording me for use by his solicitor, I told him that the prominent display of misleading prices had misled me. The website had now been changed. He asserted that the website had not been changed and that I had not read about the VAT because I could not read. I told him that my first job had been teaching USA English language at Indiana University and put the handset down. He did not phone me again. The opening page of the current website has a noteworthy About Us statement. It starts, Pevensey Plumbers Limited has over 20 years' experience in the plumbing and heating industry, which has been the main family business for generations. Would you believe that? Or would you believe the record on the company's house website, which shows that Mr. Lee James Pugh was the sole director of Pevensey Plumbers Limited, a private company that had been incorporated on the 18th of March 2016. Mr. Pugh had played a similar role with Electric Mist Limited. Under its filing history tab, the latest entries that you can read are about compulsory strike-off of the company. The Gazette said, "The Registrar of Companies gives notice that, unless cause is shown to the contrary, the company will be struck off the register and dissolved not less than 2 months from the date shown above." Electric Mist was dissolved on the 7th of December 2021. About Us continues. Over the years, Lee, the owner, has worked for many established plumbing and heating companies, including very large, well-known London-based plumbing specialists. This gave Lee the inspiration to start a professional company in East Sussex in 2016 with another company's name, with transparent costs and great service. Below About Us comes testimonials, plural, followed by a single quotation attributed to the company's customers. An absolutely excellent service, and I would thoroughly recommend them. Very prompt, with a high-quality standard of workmanship. I, for one, did not say that. Does that silly statement reflect sad stupidity or reprehensible dishonesty? How many customers could have used those words in that order? At the very bottom of the page is the real name of the company and a copyright notice which does not apply to me. Copyright law has exceptions, which include criticism, reviews, and education. This video involves all three. Section 3. A plumbing job and the invoice for it. For the plumber's visit, I was wearing a mask and keeping social distancing, as I am well into the most susceptible category for coronavirus infection. The plumbing pair were not wearing masks. Mr. Pugh decided that the problem was a faulty valve, but warned me that the valve was expensive. It would cost £200. No alternative was mentioned, so I agreed to that. Some water was drained from the system, and the valve was changed. Mr. Pugh advised me that the radiators and their valves should also be changed. With water circulating again, Mr. Pugh asked me my name to put on his invoice, and he and his assistant went out to their van to create the invoice. When they returned, Mr. Pugh had a board suspended from his neck with the invoice attached to it. He asked me to sign the invoice. I made a hurried attempt to do so, as the invoice was just beneath his nose and mouth. As I always pay bills promptly, I logged into my bank account online to pay the bill that afternoon, was in a hurry to avoid being timed out, and couldn't make sense of this bill. I hadn't been measuring the work time, but 2 times £60 reflected the figure I'd seen on the website. The only materials was a valve, which seemed to have gone up a little in price if the materials box said £220. The VAT was a surprise, and the total did not make sense. Knowing that the plumber was returning for the boiler service in a week's time, and that we could settle up after that, I transferred £388 to Pevensey Plumbers Limited's account. I phoned Pevensey Plumbers the next morning, and I suppose it was Mr. Pugh who agreed to that arrangement. He failed to keep the boiler service appointment without forewarning or explanation. The A4 invoice has the name of the previous company at the top. This is invoice number PP1487. The limited company had been in existence for over 2,000 days. The description of work price is to drain down central heating and replace mid-position valve tested and left in working order. There was no mention of the loss of inhibitor in the water that was drained or advice to have it replenished. The next item below that on the right has been ticked, but is so small that I photographed it separately to make it visible on screen and put a ruler measuring millimetres next to it. It says, "See work recommendations as we cannot fully guarantee all work carried out." Work recommendations. We can only guarantee the parts fitted today. Valves need looking at replacement. Under that, at hourly rate and at fixed cost are left blank. Under that, under charge breakdown, fixed pound has been ticked, though I had not been notified of this. The website had told me that plumbing work cost £60 per hour during normal hours. Please do not make payment or sign the below unless all work has been carried out as listed above to a satisfactory level and this invoice has been completed in full. I had no opportunity to inspect this document before signing it, or even to create my usual signature on a moving board beneath Pew's breath. The level of duplicity displayed by the degenerate Pew at this moment was contemptible. This director of a sadly declined company since he took it over was both deceitful and disgusting. The invoice's alteration in the price for the valve, Pew avoided explaining. It seems to me that the cost of the expensive valve had gone up to £220 plus VAT initially, but was subsequently changed to £120 plus VAT. When I found out which valve had been changed, there was enough space beneath it for a camera, so I photographed the underside and looked it up online. Amazon was selling it for £39.95 with free delivery, but then I looked for suppliers commonly used by tradesmen and immediately discovered Sussex Plumbing Supplies, which offered 5 for £31.20 each. For the overpayment that I had made when paying for the valve change, I received this cheque in the post on December the 1st, 2021. I posted it to my local bank in Eastbourne, who posted it back to me. I emailed a photograph of the cheque to my online bank, who telephoned me to tell me that Lloyd's Bank would not transfer the funds from that account without a company signature, and emailed the photograph back to me with the place for the signature marked in black. I had not decided whether or not to publish this video online, but that fiasco convinced me that publication would be in the public interest.